You're listening to The Pursuit with James Griffin, a podcast by Crosspoint City Church that exists to relentlessly pursue those far from God to help them know and follow Jesus. Thanks for tuning in. Now let's listen to today's episode.
Welcome back. I'm Ansley Huckaby, and today I'm joined by Pastor Carlos Fernandez and our lead pastor, James Griffin. How are y'all doing?
What's up?
Doing great. Both of y'all fresh off the beach.
Yes, sir.
It was a great week.
Y'all should be doing great.
Yeah, we are.
And it is the month of June. Do y'all know what that means?
Yes.
It's Act Like Men Month, right?
It is.
Carlos is wearing the hat, man, repping.
Conference is coming up, man. I'm excited.
Same.
This is a big deal. Can you tell us what our listeners need to know about Act Like Men 2026?
The first thing to know is that we still have tickets available. I'm super encouraged. We already have over 2,000 men signed up.
Let's go.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
A few weeks out, so we're way ahead of where we were last year, which is super, super exciting. But yeah, I mean, bringing in some absolute studs this year. Pastor Matt Chandler's in the house. Josh Howerton, buddy of mine's in the house. We're bringing in Ruslan.
Mm-hmm.
All the young adults know Ruslan. I joked all weekend. None of the old people know him, but all the young adults, Gen Z, know
YouTuber.
him. That's right. And then we've got Hall of Famer, Georgia Bulldog, David Pollock is going to be in the house.
Yeah.
And in all seriousness, I am asking for prayer. I got to preach after all these guys. I'm closing it out, so no pressure, but it's going to be a great, great weekend. It's one of those weekends, over the past couple of years we've done it. We have seen it change the lives of men.
Yeah.
We have seen it change families. Seriously, I've had wives come to me and go, I don't know what you did at that conference. All I know is that my husband's a different person now.
Yeah.
So I would just say to all of our guys, if you haven't signed up, still time to get in, still time to get a ticket. You can do it on the app, the Act Like Men website. It's all there. So take care of that and then don't come alone.
Yeah.
Invite someone to come. Bring a son, bring a coworker, whatever it is, but just don't come alone because there's a lot of men in all of our lives who need to be in the room for this.
Yeah. I think it's really sweet. My dad called my husband last night and said, hey, I want to get you a Father's Day gift of an Act Like Men ticket.
Let's go.
So my
That's
dad
awesome.
bought my husband his first Father's Day gift,
great.
I guess.
That's
I
awesome.
love that.
Which is really sweet. But we have a special surprise for everybody who's listening. You can use the code PURSUIT at checkout to get $10 off your ticket. So well done, Pursuit listeners. You get a little perk.
That's right. I love it.
And the link for tickets are all the places he just said, but you can find it in the description of this episode. So let's get into this conversation. So Pastor James, this weekend you were in Acts chapter 6.
Yep.
And right in the middle of talking about how fast the church in Acts was growing, you stopped and described the kind of man the early church went looking for to meet the needs that came with the growth within the church. And you mentioned that these men needed to meet 3 qualifications. And in true pastor fashion, they all started with the same letter, the
Hey.
3 C's.
That's the old school Baptist in me,
Yeah.
Yeah, great
Easy
for
to
taking
remember.
notes.
Got to alliterate,
I love it. Character, competency, and consecration. And so the first one was character. And like you said in your message, we can think reputation. When that man's name comes up, people go, that's a good man. I trust him.
Yeah.
So what actually builds that kind of reputation? And on the flip side of that, where do most guys quietly lose that reputation and trust?
Well, I think if I had to give a word, I think the one thing that results in that kind of reputation is integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That this is the man who lives an integrated life. So he's living one life all the time.
Yeah.
He doesn't live a certain kind of life at work, a certain kind of life at home, certain kind of life at church, but he's living one life all the time, and it is a life of integrity. So
That's good.
to just go to the scriptures, this is the man who loves God with all his heart, soul, mind, and strength. This is the man who loves his neighbor as himself. And this is the man who has committed his life to making disciples, to living out the Great Commission
Yeah.
in all places and in all situations. And the truth is, no man ever gets that right all the time
Yeah.
because we're still imperfect. We have human limitations. We're battling this thing called the flesh. We've got an enemy who's always trying to come against us. At times, it's easy to believe the lies of the world.
Yeah.
But the man who is walking in step with the Spirit of God is always striving to get this right.
Yeah.
To live the one life that God has created him and saved him to live. And when a man lives that way, then other people can look at that man and with integrity say, that's a good man.
Yeah.
And when I say good, I don't mean like he's just trying really hard to be a good guy.
Yeah.
That ain't the point. It's no, that's a surrendered man.
Yeah.
That's the man who gets out of bed every day and bows the knee to the lordship of Jesus. This is the man who gets out of bed every day, recognizes his need for the Spirit, and is yielding to him, praying that prayer that I pray very often. Give me the power I need today to live a life of holiness, to live a life of humility. And this is the man who's just constantly looking for opportunities to put Christ on display, to be an encouragement, to help other people in what it means to know and follow Jesus. This is the kind of man I want to be. This is the kind of man I want all of our listeners to be.
Yeah.
It's the kind of man I want all of our men across Point City Church to be, so that at the end of the day, people can say with integrity that we are good men.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I would have said. A man of integrity, a man who keeps his word, right? A man who cares for people. I think a person who loses that, it's someone who does the opposite of that, right? It's not a man of integrity, doesn't keep his word. I think that's the biggest thing right now that I see is just men saying they'll do something, then they don't do it, right? And it starts at home and starts with friends. And that's how they lose it. They lose that reputation. And their reputation is a person who doesn't show up, who says they're going to do something and then doesn't do it.
Yeah.
And who doesn't care for people, who's just selfish, all the things. And so, I mean, the perfect word, integrity. It's a man of integrity.
100%.
So.
Well, dude, let's push in on the home piece for just a moment, because I think this one really, really matters. You know, I was fortunate enough to grow up with a father, and he's still this way today, who was a good man, a good man, a godly man. And I never had to guess as a son what version of dad was going to walk through the door, ever. Because my dad was the same guy all the time.
Yeah.
And I think this does a lot of guys in, where, going back to what I said earlier, he's one way at work, and then when he comes home, his wife is guessing who's about to walk through that door right now. His kids are always guessing, what version of dad am I going to get this evening or this weekend? Is it going to be the dad who loves me and who encourages me and who speaks life into me? Or is it going to be the dad who's angry at me and short with me and doesn't really want to spend any time with me?
Yeah.
And I think, again, when men fail to lead at home, and they fail to be consistent there, that impacts the rest of life in a significant way.
Oh, for sure.
Like if your wife and your kids, and obviously we're speaking to men who are, married and fathers right now, but if your wife and kids can't say about you, that's a good man, dude, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, that just cuts your leadership legs out from underneath you everywhere else you go. I have a mentor who has often said to me, you're going to always disappoint somebody. Don't disappoint those who matter most.
That's good.
Talking about your family.
Yeah.
And he's like, you always got to remember, at the end of your life, there's going to be a group of people with you on your deathbed. And it ain't going to be all the people at work. It's not going to be all your little social media followers. For us, it's not going to be all the people that we led here at Cross Point City Church. No, it's going to be Amber, my girls, there with me.
Yeah.
And I want, in my dying moments, for those 4 girls to be able to say, he was the same man all the time over the course of his life. It wasn't perfect. He didn't get it right all the time. And when he failed, he owned it and he apologized, and then he kept taking steps forward. But I just want to know that at the end of my life, those who know me best can say that about me.
Yeah.
So it has to start at home for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like this is something that changed everything for me, is when I heard my buddy say, hey, I don't want to be a hero to strangers and a loser at home.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just true. Like, there's so many men right now that need to understand, like, for your reputation, it does start at home, and you rather have the people who love you the most, who are closest to you the most, say the best things about you than a stranger who barely knows you that you have 5 minutes with, right?
Absolutely.
And for like our profession, I actually believe, like, when you're a good father and a good husband, you're a good pastor.
For sure.
Right? Like, those things are so connected that, like, I just don't understand how you could be, like, you're trying to just save your image in front of people who don't really care about you that much. Right?
Yep.
Who need you in the moment, but will drop you the second. Like, they would leave your church, leave your ministry in a second, but the people at home are going to be with you for the rest of your life. And I just think for us, and just thinking about, even if you're not in ministry, like your image at home matters so much. I'm just thinking about my daughter. The decisions she makes when she's in her teens are going to be so dependent on my presence with her right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I was reading a book. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I do know what you're saying. I think about this all the time because my oldest daughter, she's about to turn 15 this summer. So we're getting very, very close to the age where she's going to be dating boys and I'm going to have some idiot teenage kids showing up at my house, wanting to hang out with my girl. And my goal, and I've told my daughters this, my goal is to be such a loving father and such a godly man at home that I ruin it for every boy that comes in my house.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like I want to set the bar so high in how I love them and in how I love their mom that they refuse to settle for an idiot.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to think about legacy already.
Yeah.
And my daughters are still young, but I'm going, the way I conduct myself at home can and should inform the men that they choose, which then impacts not just their future marriages, but my grandkids, all of those things. So this home piece matters. And Carlos, to your point, one of the things I've said for years now, one of my goals in life is to be respected most by people who know me best. And I think if those girls in my house respect me the most, that carries with me into the other places where I have to function, right? That follows me. Yeah. But if I know who I am at home ain't the real me, then again, it's hard for me to be a man of integrity in other places and in other aspects of leadership. Yeah. So I don't mean to cut you off, but
no. It's perfect. Because when you think about it, if you are not the person everywhere else that you are at home, it starts to show everywhere else.
That's what I was thinking.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it starts to crack. But if you are this man of integrity, this man who loves his wife, loves his kids, who shows up, that just bleeds into everything you do because the bar is at home. All right. I'm thinking about Titus chapter 1, verse 5, right? Like what an elder is supposed to be as you look for, it's supposed to be someone who's respected in the home, right? And so for me as a young pastor, I'm not that young, I'm in my 30s, but just learning because I didn't have a father in the household. And now I'm looking to people trying to figure out, hey, how do I do this? And I remember I don't know how I got on the phone with this guy, but he was a pastor in Montana, leading a big church. And we were just talking and he said, hey, I don't want my house to think that the church is my mistress. Right. And he just said that, man, he failed at home for so many years and he's trying to backtrack. And he told me gave me some great advice. He says, don't do that. He says, I plead with you, I beg you, whatever you do, don't allow your house to think the church is your mistress, right? And I don't want to try to save my image at the cost of my family. And I mean, seeing you lead, seeing so many, man, we have so many godly men at church lead, right? That I've been able to ask questions and just kind of just like peek into their life and say, how are you doing these things? And I mean, our reputation at home matters so much. But I love that line, man. I want to be most respected by the people that know me the most. What was it?
I want to be respected most by the people who know me best.
Man, that's a bar.
And I think that's a great challenge to every man who's listening to this podcast right now and every woman. And something that you just touched on, it is a discipleship issue. Yeah. Okay. So as we're growing up in the faith and for those of us who might be trying to learn how to be godly fathers, godly mothers, godly spouses for the first time. Part of getting that right means that I look to older, more mature believers who are getting it right. And I go, hey, can I learn from you? Yeah. Can I ask you some things? Can you disciple me in how to be the kind of man or woman that I see you being every single day? Yeah. And this is one of the gifts of the church is when we didn't grow up in the greatest family, the church fills that gap and it is the family. So now I've got spiritual mothers and spiritual fathers and spiritual grandparents that I can look to and learn from. Yeah. And Carlos, this is one of the things I appreciate and respect about you, bro, is, you don't use your story as some excuse. Oh, I didn't, I missed that. So I can't be the kind of husband or dad I want to be. No, man, you're just like, I'm going to figure this dang thing out, bro. And I love it because that was my dad. Yeah. My dad didn't have it modeled for him, but my dad said, I'm going to change this for our family. And he did. And because of who my dad became as a result of discipleship, all I've ever known is a godly dad who's been a good man and who's loved my wife and who's loved my brother. Like, I don't have any daddy issues. Praise God for that. But it was a discipleship issue. And it was a man deciding to draw a line in the sand and to say, this stops with me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I just want to encourage all the men who are listening, no matter your story, God can change you, and he can use you to change the generations after. You can be the kind of man that we're talking about.
Yeah. No, that's so good. Just think about the beauty of how God like uses his church in so many different ways, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
That we, like people who didn't have fathers, who didn't have good examples growing up, have now like an array of things to look at, right? Like I'm just thinking about like this is why it's so important. I know we're going to talk about isolation in a little bit, but this is why you have to take advantage of what the church is.
That's right.
Right? Every week, like you have men and women who are really following God, and that you get to ask questions, you get to be discipled by him, and you can literally change your life if you humble yourself and just say, hey, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to be a dad. Right?
Yep.
Like I don't know. Like I didn't know that you should, tuck them in every single night. Why? Because that didn't happen to me.
Right.
But then when I'm a shout out to Ricky. Like Ricky talks to me about his kids all the time, and something that I want to do that he does. He's so excited to share about, his little girl's like first step, or when his boy is like, or he gets bullied by his girl because he wants everything that she has. And it's like just sharing stories of excitement about their kids. I want to be a dad.
Yeah.
Who talks about my kids, And I love the fact that in every sermon you find a way to talk about your family.
They make the greatest sermon illustrator. I got to get away with it while I can.
That's
it's like,
beautiful,
bro. While they're young, I can squeeze them in there.
Yeah.
But
now
I love it, man.
Now I'm at the point with my oldest daughter. I'm like, hey, are you okay if I share this?
That's
Like
funny.
now I'm asking for permission, but no, it is a gift. What a gift, man, to be a father, a soon to be mother, Ansley, a spouse, and. Yeah, man. One of the gifts that God gives us is his people.
Yeah.
So that we can rightly learn how to do these things.
Yeah. I love it, man. So that was a good combo.
That was good. Okay, so we hand out good guy pretty easily now. We often confuse being nice with being trustworthy. So I wanted to ask you both, where's the line between a guy who's just easy to be around and a guy you'd actually trust with something that mattered, like an actual good guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I was going to repeat something that you said a few moments ago, Carlos. Yeah. When I think of the man that I trust, this is the man who keeps his word. I think good men are men of their word. They're not liars. They don't leave you guessing.
Yeah.
Well, is he really going to do what he said he was going to do, or is he not?
Yeah.
Is he going to show up when he said he was going to show up, or is he not? Is he going to keep the commitment, or is he going to break the commitment? Again, this is an issue of integrity, where a good man is a godly man who's striving to love God, love people, make disciples. But I think a huge part of this is a man who does what he says he's going to do. To steal language from Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount, his yes is yes and his no is no.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have to convince you. No, I swear, bro, I'm going to do the thing and just believe me this time or whatever. You know that when he goes, I'll be there, he's going to show up.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be early, and whatever. You know that I'll do the thing. It's going to get done, and you don't ever have to think about it again. So when I think about guys I want to surround myself with, trustworthy men, those are the kind of guys I am always looking for.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, I do think we throw the term out pretty just whatever. Like, oh yeah, he's a good guy, and when he's not. And something I'll just add is like, you can't be a good guy if you don't have God, right? Like even Jesus says, like, who you calling good? Like only God in heaven is good. So if you want to be a good man, a good guy, you need God in your life. Because even thinking about like what we lost at the Garden of Eden, what we lost was the ability to choose good, right?
Yeah.
Because we weren't able to choose God. And so if we want to be this good man, this person who keeps his word, like it is, I would say even a supernatural thing to be a man of integrity, a godly man. And so if you want to be that good husband, that good friend, that good brother, that good son, that good husband, like you need God in your life, because without him, you're going to not just only fall short, you're going to fall short regardless. But if you want to be perfect, I'm thinking Matthew 5:48, that be perfect as I'm perfect. That's what Jesus said, right? And so if you want to be that type of man, you need God in your life. And that's not going to be easy. To be a good man, it's hard work. Like it takes sacrifice, you know?
Yeah. No, it does. And it is supernatural. I'm
Yeah.
sitting here thinking about the fruit of the Spirit.
Mhm.
Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the qualities of a good man right there.
That's good.
And the truth is, you can't produce any of that in you. None of it.
Yeah.
The Spirit of God has to produce that in you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where surrender comes into play. It is where submission comes into play. It is where you as a man owning your weakness comes into play.
Yeah.
I know I can't do it on my own. I'm not going to work hard to be a good man.
Yeah.
So this is not about trying harder. It's about bowing lower.
Mm.
That's good.
It's about becoming more dependent every day
Yeah.
on the one who saved you and just recognizing, to your point, I can't do it without you.
Mm.
And so here I am saying, I need you. Do this in me, do it through. And it is a daily thing, man.
Mm.
You just got to choose to do it every day. Get up and do it again the next day and the next day. So yeah, it's work. It takes intentionality, but it does take the supernatural work of the Holy Spirit to pull that off.
Yeah. And the devil would love it if you are not a good guy. Right. I'm just thinking about all the stories, even just thinking about, obviously I counsel a lot of young adults in just dating. Right. And guys, I just tell them, man, the devil would love it for you to just be that bad guy for that one girl who met the guy at church. All right. And did all the bad decisions. Like the devil would love for you to be that guy. And what I tell them is don't be that guy.
Yeah.
You know, be the good guy. Be the guy who says, hey, I'm not going to lead you to my bedroom. I'm going to lead you to church. Who's not going to, you know, ask you to do things that you're not supposed to do because you're not my wife, all the things like again, the devil would love for us to just be those bad guys, the bad husband, the bad pastor, the bad businessman, right? But it's a supernatural thing to say, hey, Jesus, I need you to be that good man.
Yep.
And, you know, so.
That's it.
And it's a daily decision.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, King David's coming to my mind of in 1 Samuel, you see he's in the cave with King Saul and he makes the decision to not kill him and to follow the Lord in that. And then just a few years later, you have the incident with Bathsheba.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the difference between the two heart postures? Compromise. Compromise comes in and then you fall short. And so it's a daily depending on the Lord.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's an interesting point that you bring up because the truth is any man can easily slip into becoming a passive man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about the story of King David in 2 Samuel 11, here is a man after God's own heart who becomes a passive man,
Yeah.
abdicates responsibilities, not where he needs to be. He takes something that is not his, takes advantage of a helpless woman, tries to cover up his sin. I mean, it's horrible, right? He's a passive man. Passive men are very dangerous men.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it goes all the way back to what we see in the Garden of Eden with Adam, who abdicated responsibility, didn't speak up when he should have, let his wife have a conversation with the enemy, should have stomped that serpent's head in, like in the moment. And then he just sat back and let the whole thing happen. And now the world is broken because of a passive man who failed to do what he was meant to do. So when you say, to reiterate, it is a daily decision.
Yeah.
This is not something that you just do once. You're like, I'm good.
Yeah.
No, you choose it every day. You choose surrender every day.
Mm-hmm.
You choose to yield to the Spirit every day. Because if you don't, the slow drift happens.
Yeah.
And then one day you wake up and you do something you never thought you were capable of doing
Yeah.
because passivity has set in. So there's a lot at stake in getting this right, no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second qualification that you mentioned was competency. So you tied it to real life, you know, leading yourself, your marriage, your kids, and even handling a budget. And so for a guy who appears on the outside to have it all together, but behind the scenes, he is struggling to lead in these ways, where does he even start?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. And even in thinking about the text and going back to the whole idea of competency, I think what's interesting to me is that they picked men with certain skills to really help the church in a certain area. We need guys who can care for widows. This thing's gotten big. And so we need guys who know how to lead, who know how to administrate, who need to know how to organize all of these things. And every man is responsible to do that in certain areas of life.
Yeah.
So to your point, I know we've already been speaking of this a little bit, but as a man, I need to know how to lead at home.
Yeah.
I mean, God has called men to be the heads of our marriages, the heads of our families. We need to know what headship means.
Yeah.
The way I've often defined it for our church, this is selfless authority. So headship is me doing for Christ, or doing for the church. Let me start over. Headship is me doing for my bride what Jesus did for his church. And so if you look at what Paul writes in Ephesians 5, this was Jesus, who is obviously the leader of his church, choosing to become selfless and to perform a sacrifice for the good of his people. He laid his life down for his bride to sanctify her, to wash her. He served her, all of these things. And as a man, I need to know how to lead my wife in that way.
Yeah.
I need to know how to be a servant at home. Headship doesn't mean you're large and in charge and your wife just does what you say. No, you're there to serve her, man, to love her, to empathize with her, to understand her, to lead her toward a life of godliness. I mean, this is it. Practically, you got to understand what that looks like. How do I do that? Same with fathering, all of those things. And so I'll go back to what I said because it applies across the board, whether it's home, marriage, business, church life.
Yeah.
It is a discipleship issue.
Yeah.
You need to look at men who are leading well in every area of life, starting with themselves. As men, we have to know how to lead ourselves. And so you need to find men who are getting that right and go, hey, can I invite myself into your life for a season?
Yeah.
Like, you can't be afraid to ask that question. Hey, I see that you're crushing it in some areas where I need some help. And I'm just asking, would you help me?
Yeah.
Mentor me, show me. Let me, can I just come to your house for a dinner at some point? Just watch the way you like do the whole marriage and fathering thing. And so you're a fly on the wall in that dude's life and you're asking questions and you're picking his brain. I think where a lot of men fail is that they're waiting on another guy to come to them and go, hey, can I do this for you? Dude, if you're waiting on that, good luck. All right. And any man that I know that's being intentional about leadership in all of these areas, bro's time's limited. So he's probably not just going out and, all right, what guy can I go after and help with these things? There's probably some dudes like that. But I know a lot of men who are crushing it. If a guy comes and says, hey, can you help me? 9 times out of 10, that dude's going to be like, of course.
Yeah.
As long as you don't take it seriously, of course, I'll help you. Yeah, jump in, man. Let me show you how to do the thing.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, I think that I'll probably ask a couple of people who have been, because I feel like God's going to use me in a mighty way. So I've asked a lot of lead pastors, hey, will you mentor me? Will you, sit down with me, talk to me, I'll bring my questions, all this stuff. And I've only had one guy tell me no out of like the 10 guys that I've asked. And so just to encourage somebody, like the 9 out of 10, that's pretty good percentage, 90%. Yeah. But I think men, you got to be willing to learn. Yeah. If you don't know how to be a good dad, if you don't know how to be a good husband, man, ask questions. I remember when I sat down with you and I was like, yo, I need to know. These are the 4 things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about preaching, leading, fathering, and being a husband, right? And I'm going to bring my questions. We're going to talk about them because I need to know. I haven't had a good example, and I need to ask these questions like, hey, when you argue with your wife, well, what do you do? Like, how do you process it? How do you pray for it? Like, what do we need to do in those? How do we shepherd those moments? Or, I mean, as I grow up, I want to learn how to be a good dad at home. And so I need to ask questions. And so for men who want to do that, one, have a posture of humility. Like, it's okay if you don't know everything. That's totally fine. I think the beauty of the church is we know that we're going to come in with some broken stories. And be willing to come in and just ask questions. That's where you start. Just start asking, like, what do I need to learn? Yeah. And who can I learn from?
And I would even say keep a running tab of your questions.
Yeah.
That's good.
As things come up, whether it's on, the little note app on your phone or you just got a little notepad that you keep with you, as questions come up in your mind, just write them down.
Yeah.
This is something that I'm not really sure how to get right. This is an area where I need to grow. And just start writing that stuff down.
Yeah.
And then find some godly men who can ask. I would even say for my guys here at Cross Point, we don't talk a ton about this publicly just yet, but we've been doing a lot behind the scenes. We have what we call multiply groups. We have them for men and we have them for women.
Yes.
And they're 9 to 12 months.
Yeah.
Where we've got 2 men who are a little bit further along in life and in faith and in spiritual maturity. And they're taking on 8 guys, or, it's 2 women with 8 women. And they're walking with them over the course of about a year, reading books together, memorizing scripture together, doing homework at home. And so it's about building these competencies into men and women so that they can do the biblical manhood and womanhood thing right.
Yeah.
So I would say, if you're listening and you go, that's something that I need, we can help with that. It's high commitment. I'll tell you, you got to apply for it. You got to sign a covenant.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like you got to be here for all the things, and you got to do all the work, or you can't be in. So this is for people who are going to take it very, very seriously. But we do have a formalized opportunity, if you will, here at our church to help you with this thing, so that you're not guessing, well, where's the person? How do I find the person? We can help you with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to ask, since we were talking about the guys, like if there was a woman who wanted to figure this out, like where does she start?
Well, I was going to say this does apply to women as well. Like you need to find women who are further along in the faith and follow them in the way that y'all are talking about. One thing I want to say real quick, I can already hear a listener saying, is Multiply groups at every location? Yes, they are. I know of one in Rome that started up Saturday. So any location, you can jump into that. But I wanted to ask, since we're talking about, mentorship and following other believers, do you think there is an age difference requirement, or is it just that person who's been following the Lord, they're further along in their journey of following the Lord?
I am a big fan of intergenerational discipleship.
Yeah.
Okay. Like for me personally, I'm 44 years old. I don't want some other 44-year-old dude trying to teach me everything. I want to go find the 70-year-old. I want to find the 80-year-old who's done the marriage, who has grown kids, who's now got grandkids and is still crushing it.
Yeah.
I want to go talk to that guy. Go, dude, help me.
Yes.
When you were my age, what were you doing at my age that has now landed you where you are?
Yeah.
Right? I want to see a track record of success in these areas. So I think we can learn anything from anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I'll learn something from whatever age you are, man. If you're spitting truth and you got something to say and it's biblical and it's going to help me, then give it to me. Right. So I'm not saying don't listen to people who are younger than you or, the same age as you. If that was me, we'd be in trouble, because I got a lot of people in our church who are younger than me, and I'm the guy up there preaching to them every week. So I'm not saying that. But I am saying in terms of competency.
Yeah.
If you want to grow in competency, find people who have a proven track record in the competencies you need to grow in.
Yeah.
And latch onto them and learn from them.
Yeah, no, that's good. I was reading a book. It's called 30 Lessons on Life. And the whole premise of the book is this guy, he interviews a whole bunch of people who are a little older in age, significantly older, like in their 70s, 80s, 90s, even 100s, right? And he calls them experts because of the way they're seeing life. And it's just so many good nuggets. It's not a Christian book, but you could see how just some people who had faith and just the way they would instruct you to do things. And it's so crazy that when you do have somebody who's a little bit older than you, a little further along, the way they see things are just completely different than you. And I'll use an example. At the end of the podcast, we always answer one question, right? Yeah. And I'm always mind blown how you answer the question so differently than I answer the question. I'm like, dang, that was just so good. And the difference is time.
Well, I got 15 years on you or something like that. Yeah.
But you see things completely different. And just think about there's so many people that are a little bit older than you that see it just differently because they've had so much time to think about it. And that's a benefit for you in your life. And so I would say, man, get somebody older, further along. I'm not saying that somebody that's your same age can't disciple you. I think there's some people, I remember somebody telling me I'm like somebody's spiritual father and they were 60 and I was 24 at the time,
That's cool though.
But it was just because I discipled them. I was further along than them. But they were teaching me too because, they had 7 kids, and grandkids and all the things. So.
Well, and a prime example of this, Ansley, we were talking before the podcast, you're 7 weeks out from having your new baby. If I'm talking to you and Kaya about parenthood, and you're like, who do I learn from? I'm not going to send you to the couple down the road who just had the baby too. Because,
That's awesome.
the infant stage is what it is, man.
Yeah.
And you ain't sleeping and it's hard work and all the things. I want to send you down the street to the mom who's like done it a few times. They can go, hey, sweetheart, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
I know it's hard right now, but here's the deal. And here's what you can look forward to. And here's what you can expect. And it's all going to be fine. It's just a season, all the things. And so I do think in terms of competency, we just need to look for those people who have more life experience under their belt.
Yeah.
And again, have a proven track record of success, because those are the people who are going to give us the truth that we need.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Okay, that was so off script, but I just wanted to know what the answer was.
Love it.
Okay, so the third qualification was being someone who is full of the Spirit, and that's what you call consecration. So to simplify that for us, can you explain what that is and why it is the easiest one for us to leave out?
Yeah. Well, the whole idea of consecration is that I am making, and I'll go back to the daily thing. I am making a daily decision to be set apart unto the Lord.
Yeah.
I'm not living my life for me, but I want to live my life for his purposes. So I heard a podcast, I've referenced this before, from Pastor John Tyson a few years ago, a sermon he gave on consecration. And he just talked about how consecration, it is about sacrifice. It's about commitment. It's about me saying no to me so that I can get more of the Lord.
That's good.
And I think, again, this is consecration, where I'm going to put my life at the feet of Jesus today. And I'm going to recognize my need to be filled with the Holy Spirit so that I can live a life for the glory of God. I just want to be used by you. And so whatever I got to say no to today to get more of you, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Whatever I need to rid my life of to get more, I just want to do that. And I want to put my life in your hands so that you can do with me what you will. And I think, why is it easy to leave out? Probably because it's the one that requires the most work and intentionality. And because you have certain factors working against you all the time: the world, the flesh, and the devil.
Yeah.
There's a part of you that is opposing this always. There's a very real enemy in your life who's opposing this always. The message of the world is so different. The message of the world is not, hey, forget about you and live for the glory of God. The message of the world is like, no, it's all about you.
Yeah.
Just live for you. And so I think it's so easy just to get so caught up in how everyone else is living. We're sheep. We just do what everybody else does all the time. But it's so easy to get lulled to sleep, to get so distracted by the things of this world. And they might not even be bad things. They could be good things. Success, all the extracurricular activities, all those things. But they lull us to sleep in a spiritual sense. And then we find ourselves just drifting through life. And instead of living a consecrated life unto the Lord, it's really a life that's centered on me. You got to fight for this, man. It's hard.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Okay, so one of the things that seems increasingly common is isolation. So a lot of men don't have close friendships where they're known, challenged, and encouraged. And in fact, studies show that the number of men who report having no close friends has increased significantly over the last few decades. So is that part of what you were talking about in your message when you described the guy who says, I've got this?
Yeah, I think it's part of it. I think the guy who says that, first and foremost, he's saying that about the Lord. I can do it apart from you.
Okay.
I don't need your help. I'm a man. I got it. But to get at the heart of the question, I think a lot of guys do this.
Yeah.
When it comes to outside help as well, not just the help of the Holy Spirit, but the help of other people. As men, we always want to think that we got what it takes all the time. Like, Carlos, I don't need you helping me. I can do it. And say, I don't need you helping me. I can do it. And a lot of guys sadly live their lives this way, that they isolate, they go through life alone. This is a big problem in this upcoming generation of men. I've heard it said, I think it was not the attorney general, what's the guy's name? I don't know what his title is. It'll come back to me. is it the Surgeon General? One of those people high up, whatever, called loneliness an epidemic in this next generation, man.
Mm-hmm.
Killing young men.
Yeah.
And it is problematic when we isolate because we were never meant to walk through life alone. God did not build us that way as human beings.
Yeah.
We need him and we need each other. And so if I walk through life as a man thinking I can do it and I don't need brothers to help me, I mean, my goodness gracious, dude, you're putting yourself in a very, very dangerous predicament in that case.
Yeah. Do you feel like men can easily talk about anything under the sun but their relationship with the Lord amongst each other? Does that feel true? Like, I feel like us women, we open up our hearts to each other and we have those conversations and we're confessing sin. But I don't know if men, they can talk about anything, but do they do life in that intimate way?
Not all the time, man. Like we struggle sometimes to talk about Jesus. We struggle sometimes to talk about our feelings. We struggle sometimes to talk about our past or failures. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we don't like to talk about. And it's because we've seen the example of people like, hey, man, they just got everything together. They're like superheroes and they got no kryptonite. And so we haven't seen a great example of people just being like, now my life's falling apart.
Yeah.
Or I don't know how to handle this. And when you start to see that, you'll start to see, like, especially in a men's group, as soon as one person confess, everybody confesses, right? Everybody's just like, well, me too. And it just takes one person to lead. And that's why, like, I think whenever we get chances to preach and we can be vulnerable to show people like, hey, we don't have it all together. I love the fact that in the sermon it says, hey, newsflash, I'm not perfect.
That's
right?
Good.
Like, that's just beautiful because some people look at you and be like, that dude's perfect. He got it all together. Nah, we don't. And we'll go first. We'll lead and tell you we don't have it all together. And I think isolation, like we might be, man, the talk of the town, have a lot of friends, go to all the parties, but we're isolated because people don't really know us. You know, they don't know what's really going on. They don't know what's going in our mind. They don't know that the marriage is crumbling, the finances are terrible, the kids are it's just not going good at home. And it's because you haven't let anybody in. And I think one of the craziest thing that the devil allows you to believe is that, one, you can do it alone and no one needs to know. You know?
Well, I think part of it too, and I don't know if this is just our society. I've seen it across the world in different places as well. But I think there's a lie that a lot of men believe that I can't show any type of weakness ever and still be taken seriously as a man. Men are meant to be strong. We're meant to lead. We fix things. We build things. This is what we do. And so if I ever show any kind of weakness, somehow in my mind as a man, that calls into question my manhood. So we do hide a lot of those things. I will also say, for what it's worth, most men I know are carrying such heavy burdens that, other people just don't really understand. I mean, if you think about the call to manhood that we put on men here, we want you to be a leader, a lover, a protector, a provider. It's a high calling and it's a heavy burden. Love God, love people, step in a position of leadership by being a servant, lead like Jesus. You need to provide for those people that God has entrusted to you. You get up, you bust your tail, you go to work, you make sure they're taken care of, and you also provide emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and you're a protector, man. Like you stand in the gap against the schemes of the enemy, not just for you, but for your wife and your kids and other people that you love. And physically you protect. If you need to lay your life down for people, you do it. And I know a lot of men, okay, and I know what this feels like at times, who are carrying such heavy burdens. And they just don't really know how to articulate that. Right? Who do I talk to this about? And who's going to understand this? I've also heard it explained, and maybe this will help maybe some of our women listeners who, I don't know, maybe married to a guy who don't really know how to articulate a lot. I heard a pastor talk about this years ago, that women tend to be face-to-face creatures and men are shoulder-to-shoulder creatures.
I can see that.
Well, let's go grab coffee and talk. And y'all go sit at that Starbucks and talk for 3 hours and just unload all the things. Men, it's funny. We can go play golf or go fish or whatever, go watch the game. And we come home from hanging out with our boy and the wife's like, well, what'd y'all talk about? Nothing.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I just went fish, I mean, we talked about the fish we were catching. That's it. But this is how guys bond.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I've given the same advice to women and wives in the past. Hey, if you really want your husband to open up to you and talk to you, don't just try to force him into face-to-face situations.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go get coffee because we got to talk about some things. Do something shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll come watch the game. Let's get on the boat. Let's go, whatever. Let's go do something together, which creates a closer bond in the relationship, which then allows that man to open up and talk to you more easily.
I love it.
But I will say to all of my brothers, there's a lot of men in your life who know what it's like to carry all the burdens that you're carrying.
Mm-hmm.
And if you will be vulnerable and just start to do your best to talk through some of that stuff, I promise you're going to find a lot of other guys going, hey, bro, me too.
Yeah.
I know what that feels like, me too. And that's going to open up some much needed dialogue because we are called in the scriptures to carry one another's burdens.
Yes.
None of us are meant to shoulder that alone. And so you need brothers around you who can help you carry that, but you got to be honest about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So that leads into our next question. Well, how can believers, men and women, find close friends that can help them grow? I mean, you just encouraged that really well.
Yeah. I mean, the easiest way to do it here is to jump into a group.
Yeah.
I really push this over the weekend that if you are not in a group here at Crosspoint City Church, you have to get in a group.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in a church like ours, this is especially critical because it's the only way for us to make this big church feel small.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to come in on the weekends and to hide and to not be known, and then you leave and you go about your life. Groups is where you come out of hiding.
Yeah.
Groups is where you're known.
Mm.
Groups is where you start to share your stuff and people can pray for you and all of these things. That's a first step, an easy first step that you can take. But then I just want to give a qualifier. Okay. I don't want to talk about groups like it's just this easy thing. I'll go find community and you'll be great. Here's the truth, man. People are weird. They are. So you're probably going to get in a group and somebody in that group's going to be weird and you just got to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
The first group you try might not be the group you stay with. They might not be the people you feel comfortable being around.
Yes.
So it might take you trying a few before you finally find your place.
Yes.
But the effort will be worth it when you land with some people and you look around and you go, okay, I think these are my people, man. But we all need that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes some time too.
It does.
Sometimes you have been going to a group for months, but you've got to commit to the bit. You
For
need to
sure.
show up every single week. And then months into it, you look up and you're like, these are my people.
Mm.
They
Yeah,
were
that's good.
not at first, but now they are. And I
right.
can't live without this community.
That's right.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
tell young adults 6 months. Give a group 6 months
Yeah.
before you go try something else. Just 6 months. But I got to preach on we need each other. So our conviction is, we need each other. And the framework that I gave people was you have to commit, connect, confess, and carry. Like if you want to actually build good relationships and get out of isolation, before you walk in the door, commit that you're going to make some friends.
Yeah.
Commit that you're going to be like, hey, this is my church family. It's so beautiful that Jesus said in the Great Commission to go baptize and then go teach them all that. You know what baptism is? It's it's like a welcoming into the family of God, right? And so that's the first thing you do before you learn how to become a disciple and everything that Jesus taught us. You get baptized, and so you're baptized into His family. And so for you, if you're a believer, you need to commit that if Crosspoint City Church is your home, or if you're listening from a different state, you go to a different church, you need to commit like, hey, I'm going to go make friends, deep friendships. And then you need to do the effort of connecting. And like the first time, man, people are going to be weird. I shared the story that the first time I went to the group that me and my wife go to, man, those were country boys. All right. They like eating deer and duck and some other weird stuff. Like they had a whole bunch.
Welcome to the South, Carlos. Man.
Yeah.
That's what we do down here, man.
But it was just different, bro. We were so like, if you look at our group, it's just, I would
Doesn't
not.
make sense.
It
Doesn't make sense on the surface. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that I gave time in that group, dude, best friends I've ever, like we've walked with one another through some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. All of us, like we've all had different heavy things happen in our life. And it would have never happened if we didn't commit to saying, hey, we're going to stay with this group and we're going to, we might not have a lot of crazy things in common in the world, but we're all sinners and we've both been saved by Jesus. And that's enough to keep us connected. And so,
Well, and really that is all it takes.
Yeah.
My wife and I, the group that we had when we were at Westridge Church before we came here, I mean, it was really unique and really special.
Yeah.
They were family. We walked through a lot of really hard stuff together. We had babies at the same time as, whatever's great. But it's funny, as I look back on that group, same on the surface, not everybody had a lot of things in common. We were very, very different people. But what we had in common was a love for Jesus.
Yeah.
What we had in common was a passion for his church. That's what united us. And that's what made the thing so special.
Yeah.
Not that we all had the same hobbies or the same interests, but that on a spiritual level, we all loved and cared about the same things. And that's the key factor in really uniting a group of people and making it feel like family. So again, it might take you a little bit to experience that, but you got to stay after it and stay with it. And you have to pre-decide. I know I need this and it's worth it. So until I find it, I'm going to just keep getting after it.
Yeah. And give it your best.
Yeah.
So many people, they say, I went to it, but you weren't even engaged. Yeah. You didn't even add to the conversation. You didn't follow up. Like, give it your best. And if you give it your best and you say, hey, I gave it my best, it didn't work out. Oh, okay. Yeah. Try another group. But there's no scenario where you should be doing this life alone. Like we're continuing to find a group if that's not the group, right? So I love the fact that you gave people permission to, it's okay if the first one's not your group, but keep trying, give it your best. Yeah. And I think it'll work out.
Before we got started with the podcast, you were talking about how running with the right people matters too. I didn't know if you want to speak to that any.
No, I mean, 100%. I was mentioning that tomorrow. So this will actually be the day before once we air the podcast, but I'm getting ready to go speak to a bunch of guys who are incarcerated, about to get out. Praise God. They've been putting in a lot of work to get ready for this. And one of the things I'm going to challenge these guys with is when you leave, you cannot go back to all those old relationships that landed you here.
Yeah.
Your friends will determine your future. The quality of your friendships will determine the direction of your life. It's just the truth, And I think for a lot of men and even women, this is where we also have to look around at times. You might be the person go, well, I'm not living in isolation. Yeah, but your friends are horrible. Yeah, man, you got a lot of friends, a lot of community, but your life's a train wreck. And a huge part of it is them. It's the people that you're running with. And so, I would go, you need to come into hiding and you need to find friendships, but you need to find the right friendships.
Yeah.
You need to walk with men and women who love Jesus, who are following him, and who are going to encourage you to do the same. If you get that wrong, the quality of life and the direction of your life will be impacted in a negative way. I've seen it more times than I can count. And so, yeah, man, don't just come out of isolation. Whatever community you find needs to be a healthy community, a God-honoring community.
I love it. And that's the community that's going to help us grow into the people we want to be. So as we go, I want to get specific and personal and ask one last question. So the one thing that you actually told guys to do was to start the day by handing the reins to God. And so for somebody who's never done that, what does day one look like? So, and then what helps you guys start the morning that way?
Yeah. Well, I would just say, man, just starting, I know it's going to be so simple, but starting with your face on the floor, praying to God and telling him, hey, this is the one life I have. It's yours. Yeah. Right. And I think that's giving the reins physically. I know that we say it a lot, that there's like a lot of power and posture. And so just praying to God and telling, hey, this day is your day. Yeah. Right? Like everything I want to do, like whatever I eat or drink or whatever I do, I want to do it for the glory of God. And here it is. Yeah. And I think when I wake up that way and do that, man, my days are just, I want to say magical, but just filled with God in so many different ways because I'm more prone to see him. Right. But when I'm rushing out the door, it seems like the day's all about me. But when I take some time right from the beginning, as soon as my feet hit the floor, to get on my face and say, God, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to show me, I'm yours. Here it is. And I just pray like a prayer of surrender. That's what I would say. Like, that's how I try to start my mornings. And if somebody didn't know, that's what I would tell them.
Yeah. Now mine is similar. Years ago, I was in a season where I was just really wrestling with some things. And 2 Corinthians 12, it was during a 21-day of prayer and fasting season that we were in as a church. And I read that text one morning. I had read it before, but it hit me like a ton of bricks, Yeah. It's what I needed at the time. And what the Holy Spirit showed me as I read that text that day was that the weakness I felt as a man in that season didn't need to feel like a burden, but I could embrace it as a blessing. So here's what I decided. It flipped everything for me. It's like, okay, this thing that I'm so frustrated with that I wish the Lord would just resolve and take away. Instead of seeing that as this great burden that's just crushing me, I can start to see that as a blessing because it is the one thing in my life keeping me dependent upon the Lord.
Yes.
When Paul talks about his thorn in the flesh, whatever it was, he's going, that's the thing that's keeping me humble. That's the thing that's keeping me dependent. That's the thing that reminds me of how weak I am as a man. And when I'm weak, I'm strong. I'm going to boast in my weakness because that's when the power of Christ rests upon me. So one of the ways that I start my day is by just boasting my weakness as a man. Just going, hey, all right, Lord, there's some broken parts of me that I can't fix and I can't get right. And I'm going to count those as a blessing because these are the things today that are going to keep me dependent upon you. And so, Lord, I'm just acknowledging before you, I am a weak, needy man, and I need you to show up for me today.
That's good.
I was praying that way just this morning, and the Lord is faithful, and that is a prayer he answers every single time. So I would say, man or woman, either one, I don't care. A great way to start your day is just to embrace your weakness and to remember God created you to depend upon him. And when you do, you'll experience his presence and his power in a really special way.
That's awesome. Okay, well, I believe that is a good place to put a pin in it. If anything that we talked about today hit home, there's a free discipleship guide in the description of this episode. It goes deeper on everything that we covered. Go grab it and go grab your Act Like Men conference tickets.
What are you doing?
And get $10 off with the code PURSUIT. And thanks for listening. As you go, we want you to know that we love you. We're here for you, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Pursuit with James Griffin. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll never miss an episode. If you have questions about the message, the scriptures, or faith in general, you can send them to us by texting the word question to the number 22722. For more information about our church or this podcast, please visit crosspointcity.com or follow us online at Crosspoint City. If you found value in this podcast, we would love it if you took time to like it and share it with a friend. Doing that will help more people know and follow Jesus. And finally, we want to invite you to join us each week for one of our gatherings in person or live on YouTube. We hope to see you soon.